Hi, Peter Charles here, Hooked to Life Fly Fishing, and I'm going to talk about a little bit of a touchy subject. And it's happened to all of us. I'm calling myself out here too, because I've been guilty of it myself. You're out in the river, your casting's not working very well, you have trouble getting the fly where you want it to go. You know, you're not catching fish, things are going wrong. Have you got the wrong fly, the wrong leader? You know, blah, 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 blah. Lots of things. Oh, this cat rod is no good. That was one of my problems. It goes back about 25 years ago. I had a really nice rod. I was having difficulty casting it. Went into a store and said, this rod's no good. And the guy kind of looked at me and said, maybe it's your casting that's no good. So, you know, we can't always be focused on our tackle when things are not going right. So I just kind of go out in the yard here, or out in the schoolyard, I should say. Saturday, there's no kids around. So I'm just going to go out there in the schoolyard. We're going to take my old Blanchard Algonquin 8.5 foot 9 weight fiberglass rod that I bought with my paper route money when I was a kid. This rod is over 50 years old. And we're going to see what I can get out of it and go from there. And it'll show you that I think we'll see that even a really old, cheap rod, a rod that a kid could afford, can cast pretty decently. So let's go have a look. There we go, there's the backing knot. That line is 80 foot long. It's a generic weight forward 9 weight floating line I picked up years ago. Cheap line, nothing special about it. Laid it out nice and straight, about a 10 foot leader. So we're pushing 90 foot with my little Blanchard Algonquin fiberglass rod, over 50 years old. So if a rod this age can do this kind of casting, you know, think about it for a minute. Think about the capabilities that are in a modern rod. I bought this when I was a teenager. I bought it with my paper route money. So it gives you an idea where in the price point range this rod was that a kid could buy it with his paper route money. And fish is just great. It's heavy. It's very tip heavy. You know, I won't want to be casting like this on the flats for bonefish, that's for sure. But no problem at all. 80 foot plus 10 foot a leader. Lay it out nice and straight. So, you know, give that some thought when you're out in the water and things are not working right. Guess what? It isn't your tackle. Okay, there you go. I mean, that's a really cheap line ahead on there. It's an 80 foot bargain basement line. Nothing special about it, just a regular weight forward 9 weight. And 80 foot long right out to the back of the nut. So the bottom line here is that rods, even old cheap rods, have quite a bit of capability in them. So if we're struggling, if things aren't going right, look in the mirror. You know, maybe you need some lessons. Maybe you just need to slow down. Maybe you just have to go sit in the bank for 5 minutes and, you know, let the nerves settle, relax, get the kinks out of the muscles, and then go back. You know, I've seen guys many, many, many times going out and buying new shooting heads and new Skagit heads for the two-handers because the casts aren't very good. Oh, the line's no good. Doesn't load the rod properly. Blah, 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 blah. And yet, a decent spey caster can knock it off without any problem. So let's not focus on our tackle and focus on ourselves when things aren't going right. And that's the bottom line here. Cheers.